Today we have a very special back out of the box episode, and we're going to be looking at the cracked Nitro Deck again. Let's pull this back out of the box and see if there's something we can do about this back plastic here. We want to find something that's going to be smooth and on the back here, and I think I might have found that with this felt adhesive pad from Amazon. It's very thin, and we should be able to cut that and get that onto the back of this Nitro Deck. And I think that's going to take away like the biggest complaint I have and worry with this controller was scratching the back of my OLED switch. All right, let's get to measuring this out and getting this cut and placing that into this Nitro Deck. And first of all, I'm not going to cut on my big cutting board. We're going to bring out the small cutting board. We don't want to mess up that big old nice pad. We can just work on this one. All right, so let's go ahead and get some of our measurements here. I do like using calipers just because I can get in there and get the measurements I need. Now what's important here on the inside is that whatever covering we're going to put back here, that we don't want to cover these back heat vents for the switch. So when we take our measurement, we are going to take it from just above that, and then we also have this little port area down here. And so I'm just going to back off from the top a bit. So then, now that we have that selection, let's grab one of our felts. We're going to bring it over. And again, this is going to be for how deep the padding is going to be. So we're going to take our mark here and our mark here. It's not rocket science, but we just want to make sure that we do it right. Now that we have our distance here, let's go ahead and get our length. That's going to be easy. We're just going to take that here. Again, if that is our length, I'm probably going to come in a little bit on this. There's a couple little thin guides here, and I'm going to be on the inside of those. I don't know if you can see that, but we want to be on the inside of those just because we want it to sit flush. And it's going to sit a little bit more flush on the back here if we're not on these little rails that are on here. All right, so we're going to take our measurements here on the length. Right. And up at the top. Now, it's very important when you're going to make cuts to have a sharp blade. If not, if you don't have a sharp knife, it's going to be pulling on the edges, especially with material. This felt material with an unsharp knife is really just going to pull up, it's going to snag, it's going to beat up, it's going to look ugly. And if we're taking the time to do it, we might as well do it right. All right, and we've got our square piece of felt. Now again, you can see one sheet, we are able to get probably good 3 or 4 of these backings. So getting 10 of them is more than enough. You can do your whole family's Nitro Deck cases. And let's just check if this is going to fit in here. I'm going to set it in between those two guides, and we're going to set it so it's not covering our heat vents. Let's go ahead and peel this and stick it to our nitro pad. All right. Now let's line that up. I'll use the heat vents as a guide for what's straight. I'm going to set it between the two rubber guides on either side of the Nitro Deck. Place that down. I'm going to press that firmly. That actually looks pretty good. So there we go. We did the thing that cracked in it. Put some felt back here. Let's take a look at what the switch looks like inside of this. So now that we've added the fabric to the back of this Nitro Deck, that thickness does make inserting the switch a little snug. And when you're pushing that in, make sure to apply a little bit of pressure towards the bottom here. And there you hear the click. We just want to make sure that that USB-C port is lining up properly. We don't want to cause damage to the switch or to the controller. And there it is. And with that lock, we're still getting the protection here of holding that switch in. If anything, it's probably even a little bit more snug. So releasing it, we're going to undo the lock, and push. And you're going to have to apply a little bit more pressure to peel that out. And yeah, it's definitely a little snug, but it fits. And again, we're going to protect that back. And I think it's worth just a little bit extra effort to insert and pull out to make sure that we're not damaging the designs on the back of our switches. It kind of sucks that we had to turn to our own doing to kind of fix this oversight in the design. But again, it's real thin. You get 10 sheets of this stuff, $7, so it's not a lot, especially what you've already paid to have the Nitro Deck. That is a drop in the bucket, about as much as the shipping. So for as much as the shipping, I was probably able to fix this. Also with this follow-up is to clear up, while I stated that, this was $70, yes, it's $59.99 on their website, but you're going to have to pay shipping from them. Whereas, on Amazon, buying the other controllers, the shipping is included. So yeah, my in price, while $70, might not be the actual list price that you're going to see. Let's try the original Switch. Let's make sure that still fits. Yeah, it's smooth. Again, got to apply a little bit of pressure there to get it in. But, yep, it's still working. Let's try to get it out. So we're going to use the clip here. Yeah, slides out a little bit better. I'm sure over time that's going to become a little bit easier to do, but again, the switch. Just use your thumb there, make sure that USB-C port is lining up and going in. Again, Amazon, like $7. You'll get 10 sheets. You'll get more sheets than you know what to do with of all this. So, and the adhesive is already on the back of it. If you did get this, I would highly suggest getting this material, applying it on there, and protecting the back of your Switch. So thanks for watching this follow-up video to the original review. If you haven't seen that review, go ahead and click the link. If you found this follow-up helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next review.